Welcome back to another episode of Real Hook Set Outdoors. So today we're doing something a little bit different. We're actually in my office. You guys probably never seen it before. Nothing really special. So I haven't had a whole lot of time to post videos for you guys lately. Fishing's been tough and I've just been busy with work. But a little bit of backstory to this video. So my brother is actually moving out here from Carolina. He's getting out of the Marine Corps in a couple months. Both of us served. I served for 5 years. He served for 4. So he's getting out. He's moving home. And we're going to be doing a lot of fishing. But my brother, he's kind of one of those guys that only fishes every once in a while. So yeah, he's one of those. So what I'm doing is I'm basically building him a beginner's kind of all species, mostly geared towards bass fishing kit. And I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to just show you guys, if I was just getting started fishing, what I would get. So, item number 1, the first thing you're gonna need, especially if you're a bank fisherman, is a tackle bag or a backpack. So, this is a hand-me-down. This was my bag. I used it for probably 5 or 6 years. It's a Browning. So basically this front pocket here, if I can get it open for you guys. So you open it up, and it's square down here, so your Plano boxes or your tackle boxes can just stack up. Then at the top here, it's actually a cooler. So if you're keeping fish or you just want to keep cool drinks, some food, whatever you want to do, throw some ice packs in here and it stays cool all day. And you got a little pocket up top here, some straps on the side, some side pockets. It's a really good bag. I ended up switching to the Samurai Tactical Fish, which I've already shown you guys in a video. But when you're just starting out, you don't really need much. Grab a JanSport. Grab whatever you can afford, whatever you have laying around the house. Doesn't really matter. I just really like this bag, so I'm going to pass this one down to my brother. So next thing that we're looking at, we're going to need some tackle boxes. All right, so for the tackle boxes, I really like Plano. That's what I use. But you're just starting out. Sometimes all those boxes get a little bit pricey. So I went with Ozark Trail for my brother. They just started making these boxes. They look pretty cool. They're actually pretty good quality. And like I said, guys, you don't really need a whole lot to start. There's good spacing in here, so if you guys can see that. Really not bad boxes, especially just for a starter kit. So, you know, can't really complain there. All right, I'm just gonna show you guys what I have on the table. So we're gonna come over here. Okay, these are the soft plastics that I picked out. So I really like Yum Dingers. They work really good, good senkos. Everybody needs senkos. That's like a go-to thing for me. It's a go-to thing for a lot of people. I would not start fishing without some senkos in my bag. Next thing I picked them up, which by the way, all this stuff came from Walmart for the most part. There's a few hand-me-down things, including the bag, the pliers, the scale, and which has been handed down twice, once for my buddy. And then some of those lures over there did not come from Walmart. Most of this stuff came from Walmart, just because it's cheap, good spot to buy your stuff. If you're just starting out, you can get most of this stuff for under $100. Maybe not the backpack, but most of this stuff you can get for under $100. So the next thing I got him was some white flukes. I've always been a really big fluke fisherman. Haven't been using them a lot in my videos lately. It's just because I'm trying to switch stuff up. I'll probably start using them again soon. Flukes work really well though. So went ahead and got them those. Let's see. Then obviously finesse worms, one of my favorite things, the Zoom one in particular. Those work really well. Catch a lot of fish on them. So after that, we got some trailers, and we got trailers for a lure that I will show you in just a minute. So after that, move on to some terminal tackle. We got some sinkers. So a lot of people like to use drop shot sinkers for a drop shot. Personally, I don't like spending the money on them. So I just go with these weights, just regular old sinkers, the swivel at the end. They work just fine. I don't typically use the heavier ones. I'll use the smaller ones for a drop shot. Just tie a square knot on them, breaks off, whatever, they're cheap. Okay, next thing, some worm weights. Or some bullet weights, whatever you want to call them. Good for punching, good for Texas rigs. Well, you'd want tungsten for punching, but since we're just kind of trying to get started, do it on a budget, we'll go with these. All right, after that, now a lot of bass fishermen are going to tell you don't buy bobbers. You don't need them. I think that's stupid. Every once in a while, maybe you want to catch some bait. This is supposed to be kind of multi-species. So if you want to catch some bait, use it for catfish, or you're just doing some fun fishing for some bluegill, something like that, bobbers are good to keep in the bag. All right, after that, let's take a look at some of the tools. So obviously you want a scale for when you catch that big fish, really handy. My brother's gonna have to change the batteries in this one. I think it actually died, but that's hand-me-down, so that's all right. Okay, then a wacky tool. These come in really handy for wacky rigs, especially when you're finesse fishing. Save some of your senkos. Really good tool to have. Pick these up at Academy. I don't know if Walmart had any. Mine came from Academy with a pack of 2, so I just gave one to my brother. Okay, after that, we're gonna need some needle nose pliers. These are my old ones, hand-me-down. I don't trust any fisherman who does not bring his own pliers. So, definitely get some. These are good. Couple different things on them. You know, they got the cutters, they got crimps, good grip up here. You can tell they've definitely been used quite a bit. Real good pliers. Definitely get yourself a good pair of needle nose pliers. They don't have to be fishing specific. Grab some out of the toolbox, whatever you want to do, just make sure you have them. Then we'll move on here. So just some terminal tackle. I haven't used these before, but they had them for a good deal at Walmart. These are the 6 Sense Fishing wacky hooks that are #1. They just look like good hooks, so I picked them up, figure I'd let my brother try them out, and we'll see how those go. And then obviously some gummies. We need these for Texas rigs, and these are a 3/0. These are multi-purpose, use them all the time. And then Ozark Trail is coming out with a lot of fishing stuff, so I went ahead and just picked up some of these cheap worm hooks, and then just some all-purpose bait hooks for them. Lastly, we're gonna go ahead, and by the way, just the sizes on those, I typically only buy 3/0 for the most part. I do have a couple 2s, but typically all you need is 3/0. That's gonna be one size fits most. After that, same thing on my circle hooks. Unless I'm fishing for real big catfish, I'll just go with the 3/0 circle hook for some chicken liver, shrimp, whatever you want. They work real well. This is just an old pack that I actually had laying around. These are technically saltwater ones, but they'll work fine in freshwater as well. Okay, now we'll move up to some lures. So let's see here. So these spinner baits actually came in a 3-pack. They're the Booyah Pond Magics. 3-pack, we got a green pumpkin, looks like a fire tiger, and a white. Good colors. They also have different size blades, which is really nice. Good thing to pick up to get you a little bit of variety. I think they were $6 or $7, so really not a bad deal. Here's some of the other ones that they make, if you guys want to check that out. Kind of like that firebug one. That's like a bluegill. Be a good color. But yeah, I recommend getting stuff like this that come in packs when you're first starting, just because you get a little bit more of a bang for your buck, kind of figure out what you like to use. Okay, after that, Walmart makes frogs now. Now I took a look at these frogs. Here's what I like about them. First of all, the plastic does seem like it's a little bit cheaper, but when you're just starting out, you don't need anything super nice. What I did like is that the tails, or the legs, I should say, already come pretty short. Now, a lot of these don't do that. A lot of them are super long. You gotta trim them down. So that was kind of nice. Then I also went ahead and picked them up a popping frog. I like to keep both in my box. Okay, next thing after that's gonna be a popper, 1/4 ounce. Actually looks pretty decent for being a Walmart popper. You know, pretty generic. And next we got a lipless crank. I just really like that color, kind of a shad. All right, and the one thing every bass fisherman needs, every bass fisherman, a Z-Man white chatterbait. That is what these trailers are for right here. I like to pair them up with those Zoom trailers. Works pretty well. If you're gonna be fishing for bass, get yourself a white Z-Man chatterbait. If you're fishing dirty water, you don't have any clear water around you, go ahead and get a black and blue, whatever you prefer, but always keep a white with you. Never fails. Okay, the next thing, if you're just starting out, kind of get you in the lure world a little bit, pick up some Rooster tails. These came in a pack. Like I said, pick up those packs if you can. I really like these for pond fishing, river fishing, small creeks, because you can catch bass on them. You can catch, you know, green sunfish, crappie, all kinds of stuff on these guys. They're kind of a one size fits all. Real good thing to have in the box. You can also catch trout on them. They're just a good lure for all around fishing. All right, and then I went ahead and I donated some of my old lures. So we got a little Rapala jerkbait there. Then we got a popper and a square bill chartreuse. Always something to have in the bag. Works pretty well. Then I went ahead and I just donated some of my jig heads and some bobber stops and just some random soft plastics. So, you know, we got some curly tail worms, creature baits, let's see, craws, which I really like this color. Actually, I might steal a couple of these, keep them for myself. We got some Lunker City. These are like a mix between a paddle tail and like a fluke, kind of interesting. They look like they'll work good. And then, of course, some old monsters and June bug. So, guys, that's pretty much everything that I'm gonna pack for them. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this stuff in the boxes and just show you guys kind of how I organize it. So stay tuned for that. All right, guys, so the first thing I went ahead and did is put all the lures into the box. So we got his spinner baits here. We got his rooster tails, jerk bait. We got 2 crankbaits, a lipless and a square bill. And then we got his white chatterbait that everybody needs. So that is the lure box. We're gonna go ahead. We're just gonna slide that into the pocket right here. Sits in there perfect. All right, next thing we got. This is our topwater box. And just so you know, this is the way I like to organize it. I like to do one box just full of my main lures, one box with topwater, then one with terminal tackle. So pretty small topwater box. So far he's got a couple poppers, he's got a walking frog, and he's got a popping frog. And that's enough just to get you started. And pretty soon he'll have some walking baits in there, probably some whopper poppers, because he'll see me using that stuff and probably want to try it himself. I'm sure he'll like it. So there's his topwater. Go ahead, slide that right on top. This has the capability to fit about 4 of these, so plenty of room for your tackle. So this is just an empty box. I bought him 3 because I figured, you know what, might as well put another one in there. He's going to need the space eventually, so we'll go ahead and slide that in. All right, lastly, we have the terminal tackle. So what I did was I took some of these out of here. I'm going to leave some of them in the case. Just the most common sizes I went ahead and threw into his terminal tackle. So he's got his weights up here on the top. Then we got circle hooks. We have the all-purpose hooks. We have straight shank worm hooks, wide gaps, wacky rig, jig heads, bobber stop. That's pretty much all you need just to get started. I mean, you really only need, you know, one set of hooks, but just to be able to do some different techniques, I would buy a variety. Okay, go ahead and slide that in there. And I like to keep the terminal tackle box separate from these so you know exactly what it looks like, because I feel like I pull mine out all the time. So technically I could have just put the terminal tackle in the extra green box, but this way, as soon as you look in here, you already know that's your terminal tackle. Easy to grab, easy to pull out. All right, after that, we got all the soft plastic. So what I used to do with this bag is I'd put them in a gallon bag and then I'd throw them up top in the cooler area here. I don't have any gallon bags, so I'm gonna let him get that, but we're just gonna throw them on in right up there, just like that. After that, I'm just gonna put the bobbers in this little pocket right up top there, keep them separate. Probably not going to use those as much, and that pocket just fits them perfect. Okay, then normally what I do with my tools is I'll kind of put them on the sides or on the outside. So look in here. So we'll go ahead and put our needle nose in. And we got our wacky tool, throw that in there. Our scale, throw that in there. Zip them on up. Okay, last thing we got is these 2 extra sets of hooks. So come around here, or sorry, extra sets of weights. Throw those in there, zip that on up. Then on the side, I haven't showed you guys this, and pull it out because we're not really talking about the rod today. I do have some extra line in there. just some fluoro. I think there's some mono in there. I don't think there's any braid, but we'll get that stuff figured out once we dive into the rod. So just a little heads up, I'm going to be doing another video when we actually go and purchase his rod. I'm going to show you what I would get if I was just starting and I didn't really have anything. That way you can be really versatile with it. But that'll be done on another video, and in that video we'll probably also talk about the line, because obviously the rod and the line and the reel go hand in hand. So that'll be a whole separate thing. But here it is, guys. That is a fully packed, ready to fish tackle kit for a beginner. Excluding the backpack, all that stuff was under $100. Like I said, there was a couple hand-me-down things, but realistically, if you got $100, go to Walmart, you can buy a whole bunch of stuff, everything you need to get you started. You could do it even cheaper than that. Just the more you have, the better. That way you're more versatile. You can do more things in certain situations. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope this really helps you guys, especially if you're beginners just looking to start out. If you guys have any questions, or you have any comments or concerns or things you feel like should have been added, should have been taken out, throw them down in the comments below. Let me know. Until the next one, guys, stay tuned. Appreciate it.